Welcome back to my channel. So this video is for anyone who knows somebody who's struggling with hormone issues, or if you're struggling with hormone issues yourself, this video is for you. Hormones affect all parts of our lives. It's not just for women, it's not just for like your period and stuff. I mean, that's like a driving force, but there are other factors that contribute to other problems. So that's why I'm gonna present my story. I make another video on that. I will post that here or below. Ever since the first day that I started my cycle, it's been a hot mess, and that's putting it nicely. A lot of people can take some Tylenol, it'll be fine. Some don't have any problems at all. Others probably have similar issues or worse, and I send you hugs if it's worse. I have no idea. Back in the day, I could take, I think that exceeds the recommended allotment. I think I was taking like 5 Aleve, and it wouldn't do anything. It wouldn't do anything. I was in so much pain. I can remember to this day when I think we were almost married, or maybe just married, that my cramps were so bad that I would just try to sit in a bathtub with the hottest water my skin could stand just to live. I remember early on in the marriage that I think we went to the emergency room a couple times. It might have been before we got married. I think that's before we got married. I ended up in the emergency room a lot. And all they would tell me is I think I was even told that at 16. They put me on birth control at 16 to help. They thought that was going to help my hormones and fix some of the cramps. They throw those birth control pills around like God's gift to God's answer to everything. Are not. I disagree completely that I think those are toxic, but that's me. And just lead to more problems down the road. I try not to take as much medication as possible. Again, that's me. I'm not saying that's the answer for everybody. I think medication has a time and a purpose. I think it's way overused and abused by a lot of things. I think they did the laparoscopy because they thought I had like a cyst or something in there or something, and they did all that. I don't know if they found anything. I can't remember. Like, it didn't seem like nothing necessarily changed. And then they put me on these Lupron shots. So I was less than 21. I was less than, I had to be around 20, 19, 20. And they thought the solution was to put me in a state of menopause at 19 or 20. That's why if you ever hear me saying I feel better now than I did at 20, I'm not joking. I was 19 or 20 and I felt like an 80-year-old woman. My whole body hurt all the time. I had crazy night sweats. That was supposed to be, those were all side effects to what they were trying to do. Because their thought process was that I either have a hysterectomy. I kept on from 16 to at least 21. They kept on telling me I had 2 options. I didn't want to be on those shots anymore specifically. Was to either have a hysterectomy or get pregnant. I know this is like a little side tangent, during my divorce process, my dad kept on asking me, why'd you have to get married so fast? And I couldn't remember. I just wanted to. And then I remembered. When you're brought up Catholic and you're told repeatedly by your culture and everybody around you that if you want to get pregnant, you have to be married. I didn't have an identity then. That's going to be a lot of the journey, and what I'm going to be sharing is the lack of identity and why that's so important. But we're going to stick to the hormone thing right now. So all those things were in my brain. Like, my brain was marinating on all this, that the doctors kept on telling me your only way out is to get pregnant. I wasn't doing this necessarily consciously, but I got married at 21. I had my son at 23. And at 23, the day, it must have been, I think he was born at like 11:30 or something. It was probably it was probably the next day. Something in my ears changed. I told the doctor, and she just chalked it up to hormones, chalked it up to just having a baby. Maybe. I knew something forever changed. I think that part of the health story from there is definitely in my, I guess it's probably going to come across as a testimony. I probably even called it that. I grew up, like I said, I grew up Catholic. When we were married, I was non-denominational. Back to hormones. These are all just different segues to videos that will be linked below, or someplace else. I'm still struggling. I have noticed, and that's the other reason why I say I feel better now than I did. The biggest thing that I've done that has helped me, again, that might not be for everybody, always the disclaimer, always check with your physician, or I highly encourage looking into alternative places. Again, it's important to have a vast variety of medical professionals. I'm going to say it that way. Mainstream medicine has not worked for me. It has kept me sick and nearly dead. I think in my testimonial video, whatever you want to call it, my food journey video, it was really well done. I'm not going to redo that one. I did everything. I did everything mainstream medicine wanted me to do, and it didn't work. It just made me sicker. That to the point, and I don't know if I have that in the video, that was my other point, was that I was actually wishing and praying to get cancer just so I could see different doctors. That's how horrible I felt. I wouldn't wish that on anyone. I totally feel better, mostly, but over the last, it's going to change. Women's bodies change, and I know that. So having it balanced, having professionals that can help me balance it in a way that I want to balance it. That's again with the voice thing that I'm trying, that is so important. Of all the ways that I never knew I didn't have a voice. When I was growing up and being teased in school, I just wanted to be invisible. Well, then all of a sudden I super succeeded in that, and then couldn't figure out why nobody saw me. Hormones. So currently I've gotten them. I recently figured out by watching a couple different sleep gurus, I guess you could say, that I didn't know that lack of sleep can actually lower, especially women, I think, their testosterone. And if you didn't know, well, if you're watching this, women and men both have similar hormones. They're just in different amounts. Women do need testosterone. That is a super important hormone that we need. And I had little to none. It got to that point because I am working on sleep. Many reasons. I have struggled with sleep in the past. I am getting a lot better. Stress also helps you not to sleep. So going through a divorce and navigating that has also led to lack of sleep. So now I'm aware that that lowers my testosterone, and I don't want that lowered. So I've been working with a medical professional, on a naturopathic medical professional, in fixing that. So that would be, I think, my hormone journey so far. It's an ongoing thing. I still have this odd thing that I did want to share for some reason around my cycle. Some people call it your moon, I guess. I've been looking more into that. That just seems interesting. I understand the slight overview of it, but it's very interesting to me. And if it rains a lot, in the past, if it rained a lot, I'd be bedridden. 10 years ago, before I changed my diet, I was bedridden. Especially if it rained. If I ate cow dairy, I had a sinus infection for 3 months, and I'm not being dramatic. At the very minimum, if I have cow dairy, at the very minimum, I will have a sinus infection for 3 months. People ask me why or how I eat the way I eat. I don't go out to eat. Because where I live, they're big. I live in Wisconsin. They're a big fan of their cow dairy in Wisconsin. So to go out to eat and have something not have cow dairy in it is going to be difficult, including salad. I mean, I don't know how many of you, but maybe some of you can eat a salad without cheese, but I can eat sheep, like baba sheep, and goat cheese. I tried all of those other like fancy almond cheeses or whatever, cashew cheeses. Again, I'm from Wisconsin. That's not cutting it. I can do sheep and goat, but they don't have that at restaurants here. So that's why I don't go out to eat. There'll be a lot of videos on people say I have too many preferences. I've been sick for a lot of my life, and it took me till this point in my life to understand what messes with my hormones, what messes with my brain, and I'm not going to do that anymore. I'm not going to go to, I love Olive Garden. I love it. I love it. I will always forever love Olive Garden. I haven't been there in probably over 8 years because I will not be able to breathe well. I will have a sinus infection and a lot of other medical things that are not fun. It's not worth it to me. It's just not. Oh, I know the other hormonal thing. Fibrocystic breast disease is incredibly painful. And it is, from my experience, definitely hormone driven. Without the knowledge I've had from all the other things, nutrition and stuff, again, I'm not a nutritionist, I'm not a dietitian. It is amazing on knowledge is power, like, and all the stuff that I've done to educate myself in this regard has probably saved my life and made this possible. Those are many reasons why I don't mess with hormones. So this is my little spiel on hormones, and thank you for listening and gaining awareness on how important it is to have balanced hormones. So if anybody's out there struggling with different things, contact me. Find a local naturopath. Always check in with your physician. And most of all, my best advice, educate yourself. Educate yourself and find a community that a medical community that aligns with your voice. I can tell you this right now. I went in to get the fibrocystic breast checked out. I was pretty confident that I understood what was going on, but I wanted to be aware. I did my research, and logically, a mammogram doesn't make sense to me. I am not going to put something that's already not great. Fibrocystic breasts are painful, super painful. To put them in a machine that smashes it more, all I can picture is a water balloon. You smash a water balloon that has other water balloons in them, you can't tell me something's not going to pop. You also can't tell me that that's not a compromised position. Not only that it's not a compromised position, but now you're also putting x-rays, some other kind of radiation on top of something that's already compromised a little bit in many ways. For myself, I will not get a mammogram. I did the education. I know they think that that's misinformation or whatever. To me, that's logic. That's logic to me. I have no problem with ultrasounds. I think ultrasounds are fantastic. I am not telling or swaying anybody in any wish. I'm just sharing my opinion. But the medical community is going to try to talk me out of it. That's their job, and I understand that. That's their job. I am fully educated on enough information that I need to know for myself to make my own informed. That's the whole purpose of this, is to inform you that you have a voice. I am fully prepared to accept if I'm wrong. But I live my life in a way that makes cancer very difficult. I have a huge history of cancer in my background, not me specifically, but I have a family history of breast cancer, which is another reason why I don't mess with hormones and that I eat the way I do. In this video with hormones, educate, and find your identity in what you want to believe. Because there's misinformation everywhere. It doesn't mean that one person's information is correct over another's. Doctors like their data. And that's great. Data is important. But logic's important to me, and that does not make sense to me. It just doesn't. I'm not going to put something that's already extremely painful into another device that's going to cause it more pain, when studies have also shown that fibrocystic breasts, the cysts, look similar to cancer in a mammogram, which is why they do the ultrasound. I understand. I get that. I get the fact that maybe the mammogram can find something that an ultrasound can't. But I'm willing to take that risk that I'm wrong. It's my body. So, fun fact, you cannot, unless you have family history, you cannot get, at the date of this recording, you cannot get an ultrasound if you have no family history of breast cancer. You cannot get an ultrasound at least around here, at any major medical location, unless you get a mammogram first. They won't even schedule it. I've still had a hard time getting one. My last one got mysteriously canceled. There is a beautiful company called HerScan that you have to pay out of pocket, but you can have a breast ultrasound done. The results they were enough for me to have peace of mind. They may not be fantastic and super detailed, but of course they're not going to say you're cancer free. They're not going to do that. Nobody's going to do that. I don't even know if they're going to do that with a mammogram and an ultrasound. I don't even know if they can do it that way. Nothing is 100%. I know my body. And sometimes you just want to know one way or another. I wanted, for my mental stability, I just needed them to confirm that what I was feeling was what I thought it was. And they did. Which is exactly why I eat the way I do. So, my lifestyle is not for everyone, and I get that. That was partially one of the reasons I got divorced. That lifestyle wasn't for him. And that's okay. It took me a couple years to figure that out, but I accepted that. Hormones are important to have balanced. Thank you for listening to my hormone story, and I look forward to talking to you again. Bye-bye.